The best cooler for your PC could well be an all-in-one AIO unit, offering many of the benefits of liquid cooling, which can be more capable than air. An AIO cooler is easy to set up and provide an ideal balance of performance, convenience, and price. And they generally don't leak either before you ask. To help you find the perfect model, we've compiled a list of the 5 best AIO cooler for CPUs. Be sure to check link in the description below for prices and additional details. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for the latest tech updates. Now, without further ado, let's dive in. Number 5. Arctic Liquid Freezer the 280A RGB. The best overall AIO liquid cooler is the Arctic Liquid Freezer the 3 series. Its predecessor, the Liquid Freezer iCUE, was and still is very popular, thanks to its low price and superb cooling performance. It wasn't the flashiest of coolers, but it did come with a tiny fan in the main pump to help cool the motherboard's VRMs, voltage regulation modules. The Freezer the 3 has retained all these elements and improved them all substantially. Available in 4 sizes of radiator: 240, 280, 360, and 420 mm. 2 color options, with or without RGB lighting. The Liquid Freezer the 3 covers just about all possible use scenarios, with some important exceptions. The first of which happens to be Intel CPU socket support, where the Freezer 2 will fit on just about any Intel processor. The Freezer the 3 only works on those using the LGA 1700 socket 12th gen or newer. That's because the cooler uses a proprietary mounting system that requires you to remove the default ILM independent loading mechanism. The new bracket ensures the pump block sits firmly on the CPU's heat spreader for optimal cooling. And thanks to an extra deep radiator, the Freezer's cooling performance is superb, with the 280 mm version easily better most of the competition, even larger ones. The additional heft and unique mounting system does make it very fiddly to install in some PCs, especially if there isn't much room between the top of the motherboard and the case. Number 4. Corsair iCUE H170i Elite Capellix XT. When it comes to outright performance, the best 420 mm AIO cooler is the Corsair iCUE H170i Elite Capellix XT. This isn't just a cooler with a massive name. It's massive full stop. With 3 140 mm fans on a 420 mm radiator, this thing absolutely towers over most other coolers. Pictures really don't do the size any justice at all. And herein lies the H170i Elite Capellix XT's strength and weakness. Starting with the former, a decent 280 mm cooler like the Arctic Liquid Freezer the 3 will perform just as well as any 360 mm model, so it doesn't take any scientific understanding to appreciate just how much better a 420 mm version is going to be, but rest assured it absolutely is. It will easily cope with any CPU you can strap it to, but such a monstrous cooler requires lots of room inside a PC case to mount it. Relatively few chassis models support 420 mm radiators, and even those that do might not have sufficient room for the lengthy tubes. If you do have room for it, then the payback isn't just outstanding thermal performance, but superb noise levels. Bigger fans don't need to spin as fast as smaller ones do to shift the same amount of air. And this particular H170i can be set to be whisper quiet, even under heavy load. There are smaller sizes available with the same fans and cooler setup as this 420 mm beast. The most popular of the lot is perhaps the 240 mm version, which should fit most modern PC cases, but there are better options to be found at this price point. Number 3. MSI MEG CoreLiquid S360. Some gamers want a basic cooler they can install, out of sight and out of mind, safe in the knowledge that their PC is running well and simply doing its thing. At the other end of the spectrum are those users who take pride in their PCs, treating them as an art piece. It's this latter group the MSI is targeting with its MEG CoreLiquid S360 all-in-one liquid cooler. Its gorgeous 2.4-inch IPS display demands to be shown off in all its glory. Though at $279, is it worth the price of admission? MSI has been on a roll over the last few years, increasing its product range to include every item you need to build a complete PC. Minus CPUs, of course. The CoreLiquid S360 isn't MSI's first AIO CPU cooler, but it surely makes a claim to being its best thanks to that lovely display, quality fans, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, a good quality software suite. A key feature is the inclusion of LGA 1700 compatibility for Intel's Alder Lake CPUs out of the box. This, along with both Intel and AMD AEDT compatibility, means the S360 is compatible with almost every socket over the last several years. This is why the 420mm version of the iCUE H170i Elite Capellix XT is the one we recommend. Absurdly long name aside, you're getting cooling performance like nothing else for a reasonable price, and with tasteful RGB lighting. Number 2. Corsair H170i Elite XT 420mm RGB. While the company started out selling L2 cache modules for OEMs, today Corsair sells a wide variety of components and peripherals, like the Corsair 5000X case and CX750M power supply. Cooling has also been a staple of the company's lineup for a long time. Most recently, we tested Corsair's iCUE H100i Elite 240mm with Intel's i9-12900K, but with Raptor Lake raising the bar of cooling difficulty, Corsair has sent us its strongest AIO yet, the 420mm iCUE H170i Elite LCD XT. Can it tame Intel's 13900K and earn a spot on our best AIO coolers list? It definitely has a size advantage, as well as a high $309.99 MSRP, but we'll have to put it through testing to find out how it performs. First, here are the specifications from Corsair. The pump and fan curves of the iCUE H170i Elite LCD XT are based on the temperature of the CPU, coolant instead of the CPU. This has advantages and drawbacks, but many will appreciate how it reduces noise, levels in common loads, and eliminates bursty fan behavior. The disadvantage to this method is that semi-intensive but sustained workloads will cause the cooler to run just as loudly as it would in a fully unrestricted workload. The fans will also spin at higher speeds for a moderate period of time once the workload has completed, rather than instantly returning to low speeds. This happens because it takes a few moments to bring the AIO's coolant temperatures down after a sustained workload. Number 1. Cooler Master MasterLiquid ML240L V2 RGB. When it comes to the Cooler Master MasterLiquid ML240L RGB V2, the design is something that catches the eye right off the bat. It's not all about the looks, but let's be honest, we love it when our rigs have that extra bit of flair. The customizable RGB lighting is a standout feature that adds vibrancy to any build. It's not just about colors, it's about the mood and the personal touch to my gaming station. The pump has a sleek, modern look that's quite different from its predecessors. The third-gen dual-chamber pump isn't just for show, it's central to the cooler's functionality. But looks aren't everything. The cooler design must also mesh well with practicality. One drawback I noticed is the sheer number of extras that come with it, likely to cater to various setups, which can be overwhelming and might leave you with a pile of unused parts. The design suits my tastes. It's sleek, not too loud visually, and the RGB lighting is a cherry on top, offering that gamer aesthetic without being tacky. Yet I do have a concern regarding the potential difficulty of cleaning the radiator down the line due to its design, a necessary evil for any high-performing cooling solution. While I appreciate the increased radiator surface area for better cooling, it does mean you need to ensure your case can accommodate the slightly larger size. No big deal for most mid to large cases, but something to consider.